Karen's mink coat transformed into a throw and 2 pillows. So Karen's mink was in excellent condition. I was able to make a throw, a 16-inch pillow, and an 18-inch pillow. Hi, my next project is going to be this absolutely beautiful mink coat. It is a full-length mink coat. It's gorgeous. The customer wants a throw as well as an 18-inch pillow to go along with it. There are some minor tears in the sleeve area, but that's going to be repaired. The lining is quite nice. It has a really nice design on it, kind of like almost like a chiclet type design. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it is really pretty. And her monogram, although it will not be used in the lining, we'll probably use it in the pillow. The customer decided that she wanted a black rose satin lining. So we're deconstructing and removing the lining. I'm working on the sleeve area right here, removing any of the supportive material that needs to come off. And some coats, it really depends on the manufacturer. Some have a lot of supportive material inside, some do not. This one in particular, the sleeves were very well made. Here I'm working on the lapel area. I am deconstructing that, and I'm going to be using those in the border or in the pillow depending on how many panels I need to create. I'm removing all the supportive material on the sides as well as additional stitching that sometimes when you're using your fur machine, if there's too much of a let's say a little hump, it will cause the needle to break. So I like a nice smooth edge all the way around on all the pieces. So any satin lining that's been stitched over will come off. Now I'm working on the sleeve area. The sleeves are really versatile because you can either use them for the main panels or they also complete a really nice pillow as well. The cuffs will be used most likely in the border. Here I'm opening it up so this way the fur will lie flat instead of having a tiny little bump in it. I want a nice smooth surface. Once the sleeves are removed, this is what the main coat looks like when it is spanned out. You can see that it has pretty flare, a pretty big flare. So I'm going to be making straight cuts here. I want them as straight as possible, so this way the fur, the throw itself, will be laying straight instead of flaring out to the sides. I use a 8.5-inch wide strip when I do this, and I try to line it up on the straight of grain of the fur itself. Very important to use a nice sharp furrier's knife to get those nice smooth cuts, and no jaggers, because if you have jagged edges, again, when you go to sew them, it will cause the tiny little needles to break. The vacuum that I use is a Black & Decker vacuum. It is rechargeable. I can take out the inside cartridge and wash it. So this way, every day when I finish my furs, I take the cartridges out, I wash them and dry them. And it really very rarely runs out of juice, so it's pretty good. And here I am making more straight cuts to create a nice straight throw. The table that I'm working on is really kind of low for this. That's better for sitting. So I'm going to end up getting a table that will rise up. I'm going to use the same table that I have, just the bottom piece that will go up and down so I don't hurt my back when I'm like this. So here I'm working on triangular pieces. Eventually I will put those together, straighten them out, and make new panels. As you can see, this coat was nice and big, and I had a lot to work with. And the fur itself was in wonderful, wonderful condition. I can't, say how great it was. It was just really, really nice to work with. Once all the strips are cut, I line them up and I try to see what is the best configuration. And once that's set up, then I'm going to look to see, all right, what extra panels do I need to create so I can make this bigger? And you can see how much bigger. There are lots of little pieces. Now I line them up side by side. I'm looking to see how much extra I'm going to have and what I need to cut off. It measured 50 inches by 59 inches wide, so that's pretty big. And that's what it looked like when all the pieces were put together and cut and stapled to flatten it out. And here I am now doing the final edge of the fur, and I have a long stick that spans almost the whole table, and here I can measure out a nice straight edge. It's the old saying, measure twice, cut once. Very important when you're doing work like this. So taking final measurements again, because now I need to know how much I have to make for the borders. Removing all the pins that were holding it in place. Lay down my cotton backing. And that's what it looked like when it was completed with the borders on. Now we're working on pillows. One pillow is made of 1-inch strips. The other was a panel from one of the sleeves. The smaller of the two pillows was the 16-inch. That was the 1-inch cuts. Here is the rose satin. It really was very, very pretty. It looks wonderful. The original monogram in the corner. And here is the final project. I really did enjoy working with this particular fur, and you can see how nice and big it is. It really is just outstanding. The lining that she chose is just beautiful. She used the lining on both the pillow as well as the throw itself. Come visit us at dinahsquilts.com.